Welcome back to the Writer's Workshop, where we give you the tools to unleash your creativity and flourish. Today, we are joined by Mystic as we are going over the importance of not letting social media get in the way of your writing.
Yes, not letting it take over your life, and more important, not letting it take over your writing career.
So, let's get into it while I get eaten for lunch.
Many of us spend several hours a day either on social media or television. I was surprised when I recently looked up the stats on what the average American spends on either their phone or television, iPad too, tablet, it all goes together. The average person spends 2 to 4 hours a day on social media. That is a lot of time. You figure 24 hours a day, 8 hours of that is supposed to be sleep, and 2 to 4 hours a day is spent on social media. The average person spends 3 to 4 hours a day watching television. Now this includes streaming,
TV shows, movies,
digital, all of it, yes. I always enjoy somebody coming up to the booth and saying to us, I don't have time to read. While I sit and smile sweetly, because I know I can't say anything, internally I'm like, how many hours do you spend scrolling?
How many hours do you spend watching your TV show?
We all have time for what we want to make time for. That's the honest truth. If it's important enough to us, we make sure we make the time.
As authors, we often feel like we are chained to our social media accounts, whether it's on your computer or on your phone. And part of that is the problem that we've been told that you have to respond to fans in a timely manner. Whereas, yes, the algorithm does require you to respond to fans in a timely fashion. That does not mean instantly.
And that certainly does not mean that you have to be online 24 hours a day for your fans.
Absolutely not. As long as you are responding within a 10 to 12 hour period, you're hitting your mark. Now, granted, you don't need to let it slip to every 10 to 12 hours, but I highly suggest being better at time blocking. Give yourself a couple hours in the morning and a couple hours in the evening to jump online, communicate with your fans. Otherwise, you will quickly fall into a rut of feeling like you have to be online, you have to be there for your fans, you have to always answer them, their private messages, their comments, like, post, share, all that stuff. And it can be very draining and leave you feeling like you don't have enough time to balance writing your worlds and living in your house with your family.
Very true. By time blocking, set up a certain time. Let's say from 10 to 11 every morning, you're going to be online answering your fans or communicating with your fans. And then maybe take from 6 to 8 in the evening or whatever works for you. There is no set time zone for any one person. Everybody's different. Everybody's schedule is different. But the important thing is set certain times and stick with it.
I will also put in here that something that can help with your time blocking so you have more time to communicate with your fans when you are allowing yourself this time block is get yourself a little bit ahead on your content. Plot out a little bit of content, even if it's just a day or two ahead in advance. Plot out what you're going to post with it, your post description, your hashtags. Get a little bit ahead of the game so the more, when you go to post, the more time you can save to give to your fan base, the less stress you will have when you finally put that social media down and go back to your work.
Yes, you will find very quickly that fans will watch. Facebook is awful about this. I know we've ran into problems ourselves where people see us online and they're like, oh, she's online, so she's able to talk, right? And with Lady V and I, it's even, oh, well, they see Lady V online, so Alice must be free too. Let me message her.
No, that's not the case. Yes, I am the one that handles our social media. That does not mean Alice is free for everybody to talk when I'm on posting. Quite often, her social media time does not align with mine.
Not at all. Another important thing that I want to bring up is if you're in the middle of writing and you need a break or you come up with a stumbling block, whatever you do not be tempted to pick up that phone and go, well, let me scroll and see what's going on real quick. That is the worst thing you can do for your creativity.
It will immediately zap your creativity, and before you know it, you're getting sucked into the doom scroll, even if you weren't anticipating it.
Exactly. Or you're going to find fans that, like we just mentioned,
they're going to latch on to you.
She's on. Okay, let me, hey, how you doing today? Guess what happened? Blah, 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 blah. And before you know it, it's 3 hours later, your writing time block is over with, and you're sitting there with practically a blank screen in front of you.
If you find you need a break during writing like this, I highly suggest giving yourself a break from sitting at your desk or wherever it is that you are set up writing. Give yourself something to do that keeps your hands busy but does not occupy your mind. So something as simple as washing your dishes, changing a load of laundry out, going for a walk without listening to a podcast or music. Let your thoughts and your story continue to percolate in the back of your mind while you're taking that short break. This will allow you to even not really consciously think about the story, but subconsciously think about it because your hands are active, but your mind is not. And you'll find that you can go back to that story within a few minutes and you're like, oh, this area that I was just stumbling over, I know how to fix it. I know how to continue, how to flush this scene out, this sentence, whatever it is that you were running into a stumbling block with. You'll be able to approach it with a clean conscience and a fresh start.
Even if you don't run into a stumbling block, I personally, when I'm writing, take a break after each scene. I write a scene and then I step away. And the reason why I do that is to let the back of my mind play out that scene again and again and again while I'm, fixing dinner or doing laundry or mopping the floor or whatever the heck I need to do. But my mind is still very much engaged in
With
that
story
and in that scene. And quite often things will come to me, oh, I needed to put that in there. And so I've learned to keep a notepad and pen handy so that I can just jot down some quick notes so the next time I sit down and write, I can go back through that scene, add that, flush it out, and then move on to the next one.
Does anybody remember how much bobby pins used to get left around the house? That's pretty much us with notepads and pens. There is literally a notepad and pen on every surface, in every corner, in every single room of our house. I cannot tell you how many times Mr. Brown comes in and he's like, there's like 3 notebooks on the couch. Am I allowed to sit? Sure, let me just move the notebooks and pens.
The drawback to that is I know I've written down something important and I have to go look through 20 notepads and notebooks at least to find because I don't remember which one I wrote it on. That's the drawback to that.
My personal favorite with Alice on this is when she's looking up recipes like on YouTube and she has a notebook dedicated to recipes, but every once in a while she'll be in bed looking up these recipes and an idea will come to her on the scene that she walked away from earlier that day and she'll jot it down in the middle of the recipe. Not in the notebook, in the recipe itself. And so here you're going with add 3 eggs and a quarter cup of he walked into the room. And you're just like, so what?
I know what it's all about. I can just separate it.
And that is all that matters. If you know what works for you, that is all that is important.
Exactly. In the end, yes, it is very important that you stay up with your fans. They are important to your career, to your writing. You can write until your heart's content, but without fans reading your work and enjoying it, you're not going to get anywhere with it. That does not mean, however, that you have to chain yourself to them or allow them to chain themselves to you. That becomes a bit of a
check and balance.
Yes, exactly. We ran into this problem ourselves very, very early on in our writing career many years ago, and it ended up playing havoc on our personal life. Because we were sitting down eating a meal and either Lady V or I, one would be answering fans. That's a no-no. Okay? Go ahead and set yourself up boundaries and stick to them.
I know we have talked on this in many of our previous videos and we will continue to talk on this in future ones, but it is highly important not only when you're time blocking to time block what you do with your social media and your family, but writing is a career choice. Even if you are writing on the side while you work a regular 9-to-5 job, your writing is still a career choice and needs to be treated as such. So you need to put checks and balances in place to separate your second career, your writing, from your home and personal life. And this is extremely important if you have a family, you have children, a spouse. You need those in place in order to keep a functioning and happy household.
Definitely.
So that is it for today. Thank you for joining us. And as always, remember, don't stop learning and never stop dreaming.